Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world, this is the world of Wayne. We've now got the next 4 issues, which are stages 24 to 26 of the fan home release of Build the Fast and Furious Dodge Charger. God, so much has happened since I last did this. First thing is that if you're in the UK, you can actually start buying this retail now in your local newsagents. So I think I went down to my WH Smiths, my local WH Smiths, which is my local newsagents, a couple of days ago, and issue 1, there it was sitting on the shelf. So you can get this from your newsagents. Now I believe it's going to be released fortnightly, and then I think when it gets to issue 8, it's going to be weekly, I think. So you'll have to bear with me on that one. But if you do want to get this for yourself, all the way from number 1, you've got 2 options. You can either get it retail from your newsagents in the UK, alternatively, just go to the web address down here to the fan home website, and you'll be able to get this all the way from pack 1. Now, a couple of things. I've just had a free gift in this delivery, and as you can see, I've now got me a Fast and Furious mug, looking like that. It's pretty cool. Nothing in it at the moment. I should really have put a coffee in that before I start today. I've been a Monday morning and all that. And also I want to show you where we're up to from the last pack that we did. So as you can see, we've basically put the engine onto the floor pan and attached the wheels, all the suspensions on there as well. And just put that to one side. And the last thing that we did was we created one of the interior wing panels looking like that. Funny enough, we're actually going to be starting these stages with exactly the same on the other side. So in issue 23, as you can see here, just the complete opposite side, we're going to be putting this section just onto this interior wing skin here, and then just putting some AM screws in. Nice easy way to start. And quite simply, all we're going to do is just take this section, put it over the top of this section like this, making sure we're lining up with the screw holes there. And then we're going to secure that down with AM screws. Now, AM screws means we're going into metal because it ends in an M. So I drop that into oil, and this is just an ordinary 3-in-1 oil. A lot of people do ask me that. Nothing special, just a 3-in-1 oil. That's one. Number 2. And number 3. And there we go. That is all there is to do in that stage. Now in stage 24, a little bit more to do in this one. We're actually going to be creating the battery, and we're going to be putting this onto the side of the wing section here, and we're going to be putting the cables in with the contact terminals at the top there. So at the end of it, we've got that mounted onto the side of the skin here. And the first thing we want to do is we want to take the battery, or the box of the battery, and this is the terminal top here. This can only go on one way. We've got some lugs just at the bottom there. That's just going to fit over the top like that. Now this is going to be held in from the underside here with 2 screws, and they are AP screws. So these are going into plastic, so I don't have to worry about oils for these. But that's the first one in. And here's the second one. It is a challenge. Now I've got this new workshop to try and film things when you're working with black pieces, because they cast no shadows, so it's hard to see where they are, where the actual holes are. But there we go, that's the terminal top in. Once we've done that, we're going to be putting the bottom of the battery bay on. So if we turn it over like this, we're going to be having it round this way, so that the points here, which are open for screws, are facing the opposite direction to the sticker at the front of the battery there. So this is going to go on like that, and that will mean everything lines up good. I'm going to hold that in once again with AP screws. One here. And one on this side. Excellent. Now this is where we're going to put some detail in. This is the sort of detail I absolutely love. We have got a clamp to put in first. The clamp's got some lugs on this side. They're just going to go into the 2 holes here and here. So I'll get them in. That's the first one in. That's the second one. And then just push that down into place. So that fits on like that. Then we've got these brilliant mounting screws, and these are really detailed. Look, you've got the little wing nut on top there. Now these have got a semicircular base on them, so when we push them through the holes at the top, they're going to go into the holes at the bottom here, but they can only go a certain way round. So just keep revolving it until you can get that completely into place. Which, lucky for me, I did that straight away. So that's the first one in. Now the second one's slightly different. It just actually goes through the top, and it doesn't actually go into anything at the bottom there, because actually this is going to be hid, this side here, when it's actually against the skin of the interior panel. But that's the battery almost done. All we've got to do then is take some of the battery terminal leads, and we're going to be actually putting the terminals on them. So the smaller lead has the terminal that looks just like this, and that just goes over the little tiny connector on the side. I'll put this one in. This is quite tricky without glasses. I think I'm going to put my glasses on for this one, just so I can actually see what I'm doing. So here's the first one. Now I've just stretched this cable just a bit by just putting my needle nose pliers just down the end. I'll probably do the same on that one. All I'm doing is putting this down just to stretch the end just a little bit, like that. And then when it comes to putting it on the terminal block, it's a lot easier to get it in. And as you can see, that works a treat. They're both done. Now what we want to do is bring over the left side panel looking like this, because the battery is just going to go into this area here. And all we do is we're going to mount these sides to the holes that we've got in the side of the wing there. I keep calling it the wing, it's just the interior skin of the wing. And then we're going to hold that in place with AP screws. Drop a screw in there. And I'll get this first one in. Make sure it's nice and tight. And then we'll get one more just in the other side. Then we're going to be putting the terminals in. So the first thing we want to do is take the smaller one here, and that's just going to go into this side. It's just a push down. And then the other side of this lead is going into the pin just on top right here. Now, when we put this in, as you saw, it's tending to want to come out. So I'm going to actually just plug the lead into the skin panel here. You're probably going to find that tweezers are your friends for this. There we go, that's not going anywhere. And we've got the first one in. And then we do exactly the same with the other lead, but we're not going to actually be connecting this to anything. This is just going to hang down. So I'm going to put this in here, just like that, and leave that to hang down. Now I'm looking at this and it is loose in there. It can be moved. So I think I am going to just put a drop of glue just in there to keep those into place. Now, it doesn't ask you to do this, so I'm probably making a mistake, but I make mistakes so you don't have to. But just for my own peace of mind, I want to put them in such a way that they're not going to move. Doing it that way means I can be symmetrical with the terminals as well. But that's the battery installed, and that's all there is to do in that stage. Now stage 25, as you can see, we have got the back skin panel here, or the firewall bulkhead. And this is basically just going to have some details put in, a couple of details actually. There's not really much to do in this stage at all, just getting this prepared to be mounting these stages, which we're going to be doing in the next stage, if that makes sense. Oh god, you can tell it's Monday. So this is everything we've got. This is what that panel looks like here. And we've got some CM screws, we've got a detail here, another detail here, and some more details here. So these are bonnet safety catches. And quite simply, these are just going to go into the holes that we've got at the top here. So we're going to be putting one in this side, and they actually go the shorter way round into here, like that. And we will be putting one in the other side, just like this. But these are going to be held in from the underside with CM screws. Now again, those catches are what's going to keep the bonnet down, so they're made out of metal because there is quite a big force on that. So I'll put one in here and just get the screw in from this side, and I have dropped that in with some oil. That's nice and tight. Do the same on the other side here, and we'll turn that around. Now we will be lining up the holes at the side of the top of this later on, but they are able to turn, so it doesn't really matter what way we put them round at the moment. But there we go, that's those top pieces in like that. And then the last thing we need to do is just put a relay into the firewall. The relay looks like that. That's just going to go into this section that you can just see here. It can only go in one way, and it is just a push to fit this one. Don't need screws, so just push that in. So it looks like that. I've got a little bit of oil on my part there. To get oil off, just so you know, a bit of isopropyl alcohol. Just spray that on and that will disappear. But there we go, that's the firewall done. To be honest with you, when the engine's in, it's going to be caked in oil anyway, so makes it a little bit more realistic. But if you like the clean look, isopropyl alcohol will get that off. And then the last little detail we're going to be putting on is the earth connector, looking like that. I'll put it against the black there so you can see it. It's actually just going to go into this top hole here. So if I push that in, give you an idea of how that looks, that's going to look like that. And that is all there is to do in that stage. So the last stage of this pack, they leave the best to last because there's quite a bit to do. As you can see, we've got leads, lots of details to put together, loads of screws. So we're going to be actually fitting together the master cylinder, the vacuum servo. We're going to be attaching this to the firewall, and then we're going to be putting each side of the skins for the interior wings onto the side to create a cavity for the engine bay. Then we're going to be connecting the pipelines for the brakes. I think this bit's going to be a little bit tricky actually, because the pictures don't really do it justice about where things go. So I'll take my time over that, but then we're going to be putting these into the brake components. Now as I open this pack, it's become apparent they've sent me a nice set of tweezers. I guess they know we're going to need these, but let's get everything out. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create the master cylinder from these two parts here, and they're actually going to go together this way round. So when they're pieced together, they're going to look like that. Now we're going to be driving a screw in through the front, and that's an AP screw. So I've got that here, and I'll just put that through the hole at the top and bond both of these sections together. We can put that to one side because we're going to be working on the brake servo now. Now this is made out of two sections here. We've got this one here and this one looking like that. And then all we're going to do is going to take these two sections here, put them together just like that. And we're just going to line them up so that when we try and turn it, it won't turn anymore. So we know we've got that the right way around. Just put that down here, and then once again, an AP screw just through the end is going to hold both of these together. Again, we can put that to one side. Now we're going to be taking the mounting bracket looking like that, and we're going to be mounting that to the cylinder for the master brake vacuum servo. I'm hoping all of these things are right. I'm just reading them out as they are on the book here. As you can see, we have got a peg through this. This is just going to go on like that, following the shape once again, held in with an AP screw on this side. So that's 3 components we've made now. And that's screwed together. So now we're going to be attaching the first detail that we made, which was the master cylinder to the brake vacuum servo. I hope I'm getting all these the right way around, I'll tell you. And basically it's going to go where you see this notch here. This is going to go this way up. So this is going to be sitting on like that, and it's going to be held in with 2 AP screws. Going to be a little bit tricky getting these in because obviously you've got this section here getting in the way, but with a long nose screwdriver like this one, or a long arm screwdriver, it should make short work of that, as you can see. So that's one in, and here's the second one. Get that all the way in as well. it is interesting that we've made two components now. On the other side here, we've got the brake fluid reservoir. That's what this is, the brake fluid reservoir. It's funny, in stage 26.3, they're referring to this as the brake vacuum servo. And in stage 26.5, they're referring to it as the brake fluid reservoir. You know what, I'm going to stop naming the pieces because between stages 26.2 and 26.5, they keep calling these things different names. Now they're saying this is the brake fluid reservoir here rather than the brake vacuum servo. I don't know. But it can only go in one way. As you can see, we've got a lug here, and that's just going to go on this side. So leaves the two holes that we've got either side for AP screws. Now we're going to be bringing over the other wing. This is the wing that doesn't have the battery on, because this is going to be connecting into the two holes that we can see here just above the opening here. So it's going to follow the pattern of this going round. It's going to fit in just like that, held in on the other side with AP screws. Now once again, I make mistakes so you don't have to. Just taking this section off here because the reservoir needs to sit the other way round when it's onto the bulkhead, which does mean I need to take everything out to rotate around this section here. Oh, what a pain. Right, okay, it is what it is. So all I'm going to do is spin this 180 degrees in that direction, and then that's going to solve the problem. So there we go, that's the correct way round. So when we mount this now with this curved side facing upwards, the reservoir is going to be upwards. Oh, remember, I make mistakes so you don't have to. And there we go, that's in, looking like that. Now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking the side panels, we're going to be starting to attach these to the firewall here. So what we're going to do is going to take the bulkhead this way round. We're going to take the left panel here, which is the one with the battery on, and as you can see we have got a little sort of indent there for this to go. This is just going to go on here like this, and we're going to secure it to the bulkhead with LM screws. Now it's going to take 3 of these, so I'm going to get the screws out ready, put them in some oil, and then we'll get these screwed in. So the first one's going to be down the bottom here, just like this. The second one is going to be at the top, piecing these bits together here so we get a good fit, like that. Once again, that's gone in perfect, and then tighten these as tight as you can get them. That was a good word. Tight as you can get them. Okay, and then we've got one more just to put into the middle there, and that's going to keep that panel there fixed into place. Just like that. That's going nowhere. And then we're going to do exactly the same thing just on the other side here. So we're going to be attaching this, probably best on the side camera, in exactly the same way, just over those sections there. And when that's done, pretty impressive, it should look just like that. Now, we can take a break from this at the moment. We can actually put this to one side because we need to take these cables out. We've got 3, all the same size, and then we've got 1, which is really long. Like that. And we want to take this little tiny connector here, which has got 3 points on one side, 2 on the other, a pin at the end, and then we've got this flat section just there. If we hold the flat section like that, in this pin that we've got down the bottom, we want to put the longer of these cables. Make sure it's in all the way. There we go, and that's into place. And there we go, that's the 3 on. I've just got the bottom one to put on, but I am putting this on a cocktail stick. It's slightly harder to get in the bottom one. So that'll just open out that hose just a little bit to help me get that in. And there we go. As you can see, they're all in. A little bit messy at the moment. What we're going to do then, I'm going to bring over my Partworks upgrade mat because I'm going to be turning this whole unit here upside down. Because there's a little tab that this is going to fit onto, and the tab is just underneath this section right there. Now it's hard to show you this, so look at the picture, but it is there. It's just underneath that section there. So when we put this section in, we want it so that the 3 leads are pointed to the front of the vehicle, and that this section here is pointed upwards towards the bottom. This is the bottom of the vehicle here. So a little bit tricky this is going to be, but I'm going to try and get this into place. What we will want to do is thread all of these cables through the front. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to just put the cables in first. There we go, that's all the cables threaded through. And now I'm just going to clip this to the side of the chassis where there's a little hole for this to sit. And there we go, that's on. That was easily the hardest thing. Let me just show you actually. I don't know if you can see that. That's on there. I've got mine tilted rather than straight up because it makes the wires here, or these leads, flow. But I'm just going to keep all of these leads out here. That was hard. And also when that's done, you should have 4 leads coming out the side just like this. Now it doesn't matter which hose that we use, but what we want to do is we want to put one of these, not the long one, onto the pin of the front caliper. Again, probably best to look at the picture of this so you can see how this goes. Now the long lead that you've got, you want to pass over the top of the gearbox housing here, and we're going to want to bring it round to the caliper on the other side. And you will see it does have a pin. I apologise that this is so hard to show, but again, just look at the pictures and you'll see that in. So I've got 2 leads now going onto the front tyres, and I've got 2 which I haven't done anything with at the moment. They just want us to leave those free. But that is all there is to do in that stage, and that is all there is to do in that pack. So there you go, that's another pack done. Let me tell you, that last bit, trying to put the little brake, little sort of connector over the hole in the chassis, that was hard. Threading through the leads and then trying to get them to the calipers, that was very hard. But, you know, I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. That was a little bit of a tricky issue at the end. I thought it was going so easy as well, but it is what it is. So listen, once again, if you want to get this for yourself, you can either go, if you're in the UK, retail, and just go to your local newsagents and get this from issue 1. Alternatively, go to the Fan Home website. You can get this all the way from pack 1, where you get 4 stages in each pack. But I really do hope you liked that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.